Alright, for a while now I've wanted to start a franchise in MLB, and I even got up to a point where I was recording one, but I didn't really want to do that team, which I won't even mention what team it is because it really doesn't even matter. But now I'm going to try to just do one. I'm going to do one take of this. Probably not going to edit it too much, even though I wanted to originally in the first one. But this time I'm just going to go right into it because I really don't like editing on PlayStation. So, for the franchise team that we do, and I've decided to do the San Francisco Giants. Now, I know in real life they were off one of the better teams. If they were actually at one point had the best record in the MLB, I don't think they're at that point anymore. But there's some things that kind of interest me about this team, as apparently in this game, they are the slowest ranked team but have some of the best contact. But a lot of their good guys or veteran guys are, well, they're veterans, they're older. They had Mad Bump forever, who's now gone. And there's guys like Posey, Brandon Crawford, Brandon Belt. There's guys that need to soon get off this team, and quite frankly, we need younger guys. So starting out, we are looking at the starting pitchers of this team. I'll probably go in a little bit in depth for each position, but I won't explain too much because I don't want this video to be too long. I would usually go in like between each player, look at the stats, talk about them a little bit, but with this, like Kevin Gosman, I'll talk about him real quick. Like he's on an almost $20 million contract, but he only has 1 year left. Most of the guys in our rotation, almost all of them actually, are above 30 years old. Now, I don't know how much that is. Like, I know that's like pretty old in like games like 2K and Madden. In MLB, I'm not really sure how young that is or how old that is, because I mean, Albert Pujols is like 40 something, and people do play for a while in the MLB compared to other teams. However, I personally want a younger team. As you can see, like Alex Wood, I know he'll probably be good for a few years. I know Johnny Cueto, and he's already 35, so he'll probably retire soon. But he'll probably be good. But I want guys like Logan Webb here. Now, me personally, I don't really know much about the Giants, so I don't know if this guy is good or not that good. But in this game, he's 24 years old with B potential, and I want someone like that, or even Aaron Sanchez. I mean, he's only 28. He's played in Toronto. He was RA for a few years, it looks like. And then, I don't know what happened. But I just need a guy that's young that can come out and kind of lead this team in a few years. And I see Tyler Beede. I think it's Tyler Beede. I know Scott Kazmir. Isn't he in the majors right now? In real life? I have no idea. I don't know if I'll have the exact rosters from real life. Using the OSFM rosters from I don't even know how long ago. So, not everybody's on the team here. Sean, I'm not even going to pronounce that name until I look it up. A guy that could possibly be here. And then we have like guys like Seth Corey, who's a potential, but I don't know if he's a new draftee or what. But he's only 21 years old, so like he's obviously not going to make it for a few years. But I need to start getting some younger pitchers, because we do have prospects, even a 19-year-old down here. We just need them to pitch well, not only in the minor leagues, when they get called up to the major leagues. So the bullpen, kind of the same situation. There are younger guys in our bullpen. Like, I think our oldest one is Jose Alvarado. No, it's Jake McGee at 34. Which, I mean, Jake McGee will be good for a year or two, I think. Yeah, 2 years. We'll probably end up keeping him 2 years unless he doesn't play well. But, like, first off, this guy I don't know what Tyler Rogers, I don't know how he pitches like that, but hey, props to him. But there's guys here that could definitely be good for a few years, but they're not going to get much better than where they are now. Guys like Reyes Morana, he might be able to get a little better, and I feel like he's going to be one of the better guys in our bullpen, maybe even next year. But even like some of the prospects, like 28 years old, are kind of older for me, and I don't know if that's good in this game or bad. I know like one good year could really change everything, but I'm not really sure if I want a 28-year-old being like giving him more years in the minors to develop. 26, like I see this guy Baragar, I don't know how to say his name, but like he looks good. He's played apparently 1 year in the MLB. Yeah, he played 2020 in the MLB. So maybe we can call him up. I mean, he had a 4 ERA. There's guys down here. I don't know if we have an A potential in the pen. No, like even our closers aren't even that good. We might need to draft someone for the pen. But again, it all depends on how they really do this year. Will really decide, do I want to keep them or do I want to get rid of them? Now catcher, I'm a little bit more comfortable here. Now I'm probably gonna end up keeping Posey for his last year and maybe sign him back to like a small 1 year deal if he takes one. I don't I don't really want him going to a different team because, like, in all honesty, he's been a Giant his whole career. He's won many times with the Giants in his whole career. However, he's not going to be the starter for a while. We do have I don't know. I haven't looked at the other positions, but I feel like this would be one of our stronger ones. We got Joey Bart, who's already played a little bit in the MLB. I think he actually is in the MLB. Unless that was only last year he was. We got Patrick Bailey, a switch hitting catcher that has A potential. Quite honestly, couldn't tell you much other than that. Brian Torres, who apparently has 81 speed as a catcher. He must be, yep, a utility guy. And then we got Chadwick Trump. Trump? I don't know. He played a little bit, I do know that. So, like, Kurt Casale and Buster Posey, like, they'll be good for the first couple of years. But, like, even next year, I could see Joey Bart being the starting catcher, whether we keep Posey or not. I wouldn't mind keeping Posey as, like, a DH bat. Though I know his bat's really not going to be good. Like, it might be, like, god-awful by the end of this year. I'm just hoping Posey doesn't want a lot of money going into next year, because I kind of want, for realism's sake, for him to retire as a Giant. I don't think Posey's going to be going to another team before the end of his career, and if he does, then, well, forget I said that, I guess. First base, I'm not really too worried about it, because I feel like there's a lot of good first basemen. And Brandon Belt, though, I think he might be my favorite Giant on the team in real life. I mean, his best year, he didn't even hit over 300. And I don't know the stat, but I know not a lot of Giants hit home runs. Granted, the stadium's not really home run friendly unless your name's Barry Bonds. He's never had a 20 home run season, but I think he led the team. I could be wrong about this. A lot of the years with like 18, 17 home runs, even 12 this year. Like, he can hit home runs, he can score runs. I just need him to keep that product up. I know he's going into, what, his 10th year or something like that. Would that MLB service say 9? Yeah. But, like, though these guys don't have a lot of potential, and they're pretty old, to be honest. Like, our top, I didn't even know Justin Bohr was on the Giants in the minors. That's good to know. But our best prospect is Logan Wyatt here, and he's the only B potential guy here. So, like, yeah, there's not many guys, but there's probably guys that are backups in other positions, like even corner outfield sometimes have secondary as first. I know I could probably move Posey to first if I ever need to. Like, I'm not too worried about it. Second base here is interesting, as we don't really have any prospects, and our youngest guy is 25 years old. But, I mean, Tommy La Stella, I think he's on like a 1 or 2 year deal, 3-year deal. Of course, I'm wrong about everything. But he had a good year. He had a good year in Oakland and in LA. I know he was alright during Chicago. Looks like he really broke out in LA. And I didn't even know he went to Oakland before here. But I don't know if they use him much in real life. I'm going to try to get him in, because he's good against righties, so he's probably in the righty lineup. And then Solano here, it's one of the main reasons why we're top 5 in contact, at least ranking-wise in this game. He's just a get-on-base type guy. The last 2 years, he's averaged over 3 I think 325 with an OPS of 815, 828. I never even heard of this guy before this year. I'm not gonna lie, I used him in BR, and that was the first time I heard of him. But I mean, he could probably be good for 2 or 3 years, so we could get like a prospect, maybe develop one. Wow, voice crack. Maybe develop one prospect at second base. So hopefully we can do that. Third baseman, I'm really not sure what we're gonna do with Evan Longoria. I like Evan Longoria a lot. It's weird because I'm a Red Sox fan and I like a former Rays third baseman that probably dominated us half the time we played him. But that contract is a lot, and that's 2 years. Probably the worst contract on the team. I haven't looked at every single contract, but one of the worst ones here. And there's guys that are young prospects here. We got 3 guys above B potential, and then the other 2 are pretty young, so it's not like they won't be used. Our best prospect here is Luis Toribio. I don't know. But, I mean, I don't know. Are these guys? Yeah, these 2 are on the roster, so they would be like the first ones called up. This one's unhappy, apparently. I don't know how morale works in this game. But third baseman, Longo's probably not going to stay for too long. I might keep him for the 2 years. Depends on really how bad he gets, because he is good against lefties. And he's a good fielder. But that contract is nothing I like. Shortstop, another place where we have prospects ready, but we also have 2 veterans that aren't really ready to go out. Brandon Crawford, I like. Used to be like pretty much a Gold Glove guy, I think. He used to be amazing at defense. Now it's only 76. But he's not really the bat that I like. Now, he's been hitting 250, 275 most of his career. But I just don't think I like the bat that he has. Oh, he had 21 homers too. But I'd rather just have someone else. I like the fielding. Flores has the bat, decent fielding, but I think he's on a 1 year. He was like a 1 year deal. If he really shows out this year, maybe we'll keep him. I mean, last year he batted 268, but again, in Arizona he was doing amazing, and I'm assuming that's why the Giants picked him up. And he's a good bat off the bench or playing. I don't know what we're doing with him. But we have guys like Will Wilson here, who's 21 years old, already almost, 4 overalls off, 6 overalls off for the 18-year-old with A potential. Like, there's guys that are ready to play soon, but it just depends on how long do these other 2 shortstops want to keep playing at a good level. Field, I'm not really sure. I know Alec Dickerson a little bit. He's, I think, one of the better all-around hitters on the team. He did really well last year. He's not really good at fielding, but it's alright. And Mike Toshman, I know he used to play for the Yankees. That's about all I know on him. But left field's a little tough too, because then we drop like 10 overalls. But Lamonte Wade Jr. is one of the higher potential guys, but he's already 27 years old, so getting him on the team needs to happen soon if we want him to really be the guy that we want. But I think Alex Dickerson, he can be here for a few years. Toshman, maybe. I don't know. He's on a small deal. They both have arbitration, I think, next year. But I don't know what I'll do yet. Center field, I don't know what they do in real life. They have a lot of prospects here, it looks like. But I know Elliot Ramos. I know Steven Duggar. The other guys I probably heard of before. I just don't know much about. But I think as of right now, the only center fielder is Mauricio Dubon, the little utility guy here, who, I mean, hey, he's batting 274 in 2 years. I can see him getting good. What's good about it is they're all pretty young, too. Our oldest center fielder is 26 with Dubon and Duggar. But do I really think they'll be much better? And do I think, Elliot Ramos is going to be one of the better guys? Because he's only 20 and he has the best potential. in my eyes, with potential and age and the overall, I think he's going to be the best one overall wise. But it really depends on how these guys play. Like if Dubon's batting 300 for 2 months, he might be the guy I roll with for a while. But if he's struggling and Dugar's doing good down in AAA, he'd probably be the first guy I call up. He is the only guy that's on the 40-man roster, but I'll make moves happen. I don't really care. Field, a guy that I don't, yeah, he's only played in the league since 2019, and he's been good in his first 2 years in the MLB. Mike Yastrzemski, obviously, Carl, he was born in Mass. I mean, yeah, I know all that. But he's already 30 years old, and it took him until he was 30 to get onto a major league team. So, I don't know if major league team or just get called up, actually, so I won't say that. I think he will be good for probably 3-4 years. I don't know if his contract's that long. It's not. So, I mean, like, I'll probably re-sign him to, like, a year or two initially. But, like, there's Austin Slater. I don't know. He's 28. He's a utility guy. But he's already been in the majors longer than Mike Yastrzemski has. And we got Franklin Labor here, who's young, good potential, and could possibly be like just as good as Yastrzemski is in less time, and probably stay on our team longer if he can do that. So there's guys on this team that are starters. They're not like veterans. Like they're guys like Posey and Crawford. They're like 34, 35, Cueto even. But there's also guys on this team that are 30 that are like, yeah, they're good, but how long will they stay good? Because eventually they're going to start regressing. And then when they start regressing, we're going to need to either trade them, release them, or just get ready for someone to get called up. So to start off the year, I just put some guys on the trading block that are 1-year deal, maybe multiple year deals, I don't know. The main guys like Kevin Gausman, like he's on a 1-year deal. I don't know. It really depends on if we trade him if we're in playoff. Like if we're going for the playoffs, we probably won't trade these guys like Gausman, Alex Wood, Tommy La Stella. But if we're not going to make the playoffs and there's teams like needing that last push to go into the playoffs, we're going to probably end up trading these guys, get them on a playoff team, give them the chance to really help out a team that is going far. And for the positions we're seeking, for now, I don't really need these 5. I kind of just put 5 out there. So when they offer trades, they do something like this. I did the bullpen because I feel like we need a little bit more help getting prospects in the bullpen than we do starting pitching. Granted, it does rank our starting pitching lower than the bullpen. I feel like getting extra bullpen guys is always better than getting extra starting rotation guys. Plus, I think I'll be able to find some veteran starting pitchers if need be. I already know in this roster guys like Roberto Osuna, Oliver Perez. Shane Green might be in the free agency. I'm not going to sign any of those guys because I don't really want to do that. Like maybe if there's an injury and we need a guy to play in the MLB and I don't think any of the prospects or the minor league guys are ready, maybe I'll sign one, but I don't really plan on it. Other positions I put on are first base because I feel like we need more or a better prospect there. I mean, Logan Wyatt's our best, and I still do think Logan Wyatt would be fine, but having another guy there would be helpful as the other 2 are veteran, or the other 3 are actually veterans. I think the youngest one is Belt at 32. So getting another guy or 2 at first base wouldn't be too bad to help out Logan Wyatt. Second base, if I'm going to trade La Stella, Solano will be fine for a couple of years. These other guys are alright, could be great, but I want to see if I can get that second base prospect if I do get a trade. I was even thinking shortstop, but I feel like we have a better chance at shortstop with the ones that we have now. And then I chose left field because I think that's, out of the outfield, that's the worst of the 3 positions. I mean, Center field is ranked 30th in the league, but it's a 26-year-old that hasn't really played much starting for us, and our oldest guy in center field is 26 years old, so they're not as experienced. Plus, I want to just get a prospect for left field if possible. If worst comes to worst, I can move around in the outfield. It's not like I'm only getting a left fielder, unless I am only getting a left fielder. In that case, it'd suck. But for now, this is what I am. It will change throughout the year once players start doing better or worse, and it really depends on how well one I play, but really how the team does during the simulated games. So the first game is against the Seattle Mariners, and the style that I planned on doing was going to be playing some games and simulating others. There's also good. I'm probably going to leave critical situations on, and maybe there's an episode where I just do a few of those and then talk about how the team's doing. There'll probably be like monthly recaps of the team. So like after this San Diego game, before this one, obviously, I'd probably just recap. Maybe they might be part of the video that it's part of, or it'll be its own separate video. I'm not really sure. I want to do some recaps so we can look at not only this, but like the minor league stats, because most of the minor league games I probably won't play unless we're completely out of contention. Say like 3 months in, we have the worst record in baseball. Maybe by then, by June, July, maybe August, start playing some of the minor league games because our team's already the worst. It's not going to be like I'm only focusing on the minor league teams. Maybe an episode or two, maybe even 3 in a row of just minor league gameplay to get some attention onto that. But really, I don't want to put all the focus on San Fran and the major league club. But that is the priority of the team, obviously. I will try to keep up with the minor league stats. I don't know how well I'd be doing at that. I will try to. Even when simulating, like, the games, I'll probably, like, even in the monthly recaps, maybe every couple of weeks, I'll just go check the minor league stats and put them in the video. Maybe only show the guys that are doing really hot there. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. And towards the end of the year, if we're out of playoffs and we're losing a lot of games, obviously I'm not going to play every game. So they'll probably, like, if we're winning a bunch, I'll play more games. But if we're losing, I don't want to just sit there expecting to lose 6-0, 7-0, and then post game that isn't really that interesting. I'll probably just simulate more games. I'll still play some every now and then, but simulate some, try to get through the season, because year one's usually the slowest year for any franchise, and then you get like the off-season stuff, and then that's where it starts picking up. That's usually my favorite part of the games. I will say, out of all the games that I play, all the sports games, franchise in MLB is my absolute worst. I am way better at franchise in Madden and in 2K, but I'm starting off right now with MLB. Maybe I'll eventually do a Madden franchise. Maybe I'll even do a 2K franchise, or what's that called? My League? Or My GM? I don't know. Maybe. But for now, we're going to try to start doing this. I'm not exactly sure when the first game will come out, because obviously I play MLB, I play, online, I play Diamond Dynasty, so with like content coming out a lot, franchise isn't really the only thing I want to play, but I will try to get the games done and recorded at least. I do also have some MLB videos recorded. I don't know when I'm going to upload them. Those are Diamond Dynasty though. For franchise, this is the first episode. I will try to get some games out, so at least I am one of, if not the most inconsistent YouTuber on the platform today. So don't be surprised if it takes 3 months for episode 2 to come out. But it shouldn't take that long. I'll probably play the game maybe even later today. Maybe a few days from now. I'll definitely play the game soon, at least opening day. And then I'll probably get some videos recorded. It just depends on how long it takes me to commentate those videos. And then I'll upload them. But game 1 against the Mariners will be out next. Thank you for watching, and I hope this series does well, because I really don't know what I'm doing.